Hey guys, we're back for another reaction video, and in this one I'm going to be reacting to a video by a YouTuber named Elise Eklund. Elise Eklund, very popular YouTuber. She almost has 5 million 5 million subscribers. Jesus Christ, it's a lot of subscribers. Now, I came across one of her videos probably 3 months ago. I didn't know of her before, but I came across one of her videos 3 months ago, 3-ish months ago. It was one where she's reviewing 1-star rated guitars from Amazon. And I remember watching that video. I watched it once, and that's my first introduction to her. And she has this very interesting demeanor. She sort of acts, disinterested and sort of monotone. And she reminds me of Aubrey Plaza, how Aubrey Plaza portrays herself. Obviously, this is like a character that she's playing, because if you go in her older videos, she is more emotive and, she smiles and stuff like that. But, but anyway, so fast forward a couple months, and last night, I don't remember what I was watching, but another one of her videos got recommended to me. And it was this one right here. All of my videos are getting copyright claimed. So here's what I did. And so I mean, that title caught me, it caught me off guard. No, it didn't catch me off guard. It caught my attention is what I'm trying to say. And so I clicked on it and I'm like, oh, this is that chick from the Amazon 1-star review thing. And I recognized her immediately. And yeah, before I start watching this video, I just want to say this chick is so hot. I think this chick is so hot. And her demeanor and everything, it's just, I don't know. I find it to be like really hot. Obviously, she has 4-something million subscribers, so it's not just me who thinks that. So I'm not gonna pause it. I'm gonna turn the volume down on my background music, and we will start watching this video.
So it's no surprise that a lot of my videos get copyright claims because...
Fucking fly, man. Fly just flew onto my microphone. Yeah, just a bit of a side note here. It is hot as hell here. It's like it was 25 degrees here, Celsius. And I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit. Is that 70 yet? Honestly, I don't know. But it's unseasonably warm for late October. And so all the bugs are sort of, crawling up the side of the screen door, and they just come out of nowhere. Like, this is an old house, so they just sort of find their way in. And I was making my pasta, and I finished it all off. I put the noodles in and I put my sauce in. Then I went to go, I think, wash the pots, and then I came back to my pasta, and there was a fucking fly right in the sauce, and I had to dig it out. Good God. On top of that, I've talked about this before, actually, how I'm 41 and I still get acne. I talked about that a couple times, actually. And it's funny because there's the Office episode where Michael Scott complains about getting acne, and I think he's in his 40s too. So whoever wrote that line in the episode knows what I'm talking about. So it's strange. But the reason I'm talking about it is because 2 days ago I just got a pimple under my nose, like right here. It's still there, but it's on its way down. Yesterday it was on its way up, and now it's going down. But it was a big one too. It was a big one. And it hurt because I blow my nose multiple times a day. And every time I would do it, I'd be making contact with this zit. So if anyone's watching this, if any dermatologists are watching this, let me know in the comments, why am I getting acne in my 40s? I'd like to know.
I do parodies and song covers. It's no surprise that a lot of my videos get copyright claims because I do parodies and song covers.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Literally hundreds of my videos have been claimed. This means that the copyright owner, typically a huge record label...
Okay, you don't have to say it like that. I mean, she's saying that like being a huge record label is a bad thing, like they're the bad guy, the evil corporation. But they're the ones who own the rights to the music.
Can decide if they want my video to be blocked from being seen, they can demonetize it for me and take 100% of the revenue for themselves, or they can revenue share with me, which is...
That's pretty cool, actually, that they're given the option to revenue share. I didn't know that was possible.
It's actually really generous considering the first two options that they have, which I'm very grateful that I'm able to make any money at all from these.
I was curious, how much money does she make from her YouTube channel? Because she has 5 million subscribers. So I'm assuming this is what she does for a living.
Videos, because apparently they do have the choice to just demonetize it all. And some of them definitely do.
Like, what the hell's going on with the baby hand? Oh, excuse me? Sharing. I don't know why she's showing stuff from 2022.
You choose that option, but we have a few sharing, which is nice. And I'm not here to complain. But also, here's a beautiful...
By the way, like, look at how hot she is. I just find her to be so hot. She's wearing the same clothes as me, too. She's got a black t-shirt on.
Example of a record label that said they were going to revenue share with me, but also here's a beautiful example of a record label that said they were going to revenue share with me, but then when I went to go check earnings, it looks like not a lot of sharing was going on for the first 5 days. But don't worry guys, on day 6 it did finally kick in and I got $3.69. Nice. Do you think they did that on purpose?
So, okay.
And I got through the first 5 days. I also hear that option, but we have a few sharing, which is nice. And I'm not here to complain. But also, here's a beautiful example of a record label that said they were going to...
So she says this is a beautiful example of her getting screwed out of money. And I don't understand this part of the video.
Revenue share with me, but then when I went to go check earnings, it looks like not a lot of sharing was going...
So the record label said they were going to share. I guess they clicked sharing or whatever. So they're allowing her to get some monetization out of it. But she didn't get any for a few days, right? I mean, but it's up to the record label whether they want to share or not, right? Because they are the ones who own the rights to the music.
Going on for the first 5 days.
So I don't see why this is a problem. So because...
But don't worry guys, on day 6 it did finally kick in and I got $3.69. Nice. Do you think they did that on purpose? Update from future me.
By the way, this reminds me of when I put all my I put a bunch of my albums on Spotify for a year. I went to DistroKid and I uploaded, I think, at least 5 of my albums, put it up on Spotify, not just Spotify, but it was Spotify and various other streaming platforms. And I did it for a year because when you go through DistroKid, you pay $20 and you can upload as many albums as you want, as many songs as you want. And so I did that and it lasts for a year. And so I did it for a year and I grossed 72 cents, 72 cents grossed. I didn't net 72 cents. So it cost $20 to do it. And I made 72 cents. So I lost 19 something, but I couldn't even withdraw the money because the minimum withdrawal amount is $2. So I couldn't even withdraw my 72 cents. And I don't even think that includes other like withdrawal fees with whatever, like bank or whatever it is. That's what that 369, that reminded me of that.
They just now released some of the earnings for the first 5 days to me. I feel like maybe they knew I was making this video and they're like, here
I really like the glasses too, by the way. Oh my God.
You go. So that's cool. But also, they were holding this money for almost a month, and it makes me wonder how many other videos of mine and other creators as well that have money being held by these record labels that they're never going to release to us. And we wouldn't even know that we're owed this money because there's no way to track it or know that it belongs to you.
But it doesn't belong to you, right? Because the record label, I mean, they could just not give you anything, but they're allowing you to get something, right? So how is it your money? How are you missing out on money when it's up to them if they want to give it to you or not?
Makes you think. So while I do think that there's
So I'm just trying to piece this together here.
definitely do choose that.
So, okay, so there's a copyright claim on your video, and the copyright owner is, they can either share it with you, or she posted it earlier. And so I guess they decided to share, but then they held some of the money back. And then they started sharing with her eventually. And now she's complaining about not getting that money for the beginning. Even though they could have just said, no, we don't want to share with you, and not giving her anything. So, and then she's saying that she's owed money, but I don't see how that logic transfers. I don't see how that works logically.
Option, but we have a few sharing, which is nice. And I'm not here to complain. But also, here's a beautiful example of a record label that said they were gonna revenue share with me, but then when I went to go check earnings, it looks like not a lot of sharing was going on for the first 5 days. But don't worry guys, on day 6 it did finally kick in and I got $3.69. Nice. Do you think they did that on purpose? Update from future me, they just now released some of the earnings for the first 5 days to me. I feel like maybe they knew I was making this video and they're like, here you go.
So they're scared that you're making the video, so they're like, okay, here's some of the extra earnings.
So that's cool. But also, they were holding this money for almost a month, and it makes me wonder how many other videos of mine and other creators as well that have money being held by these record labels that they're never gonna release to us. And we wouldn't even know that we're owed this money because there's no way to track it or know that it belongs to you.
Because it doesn't belong to you. I mean, if there's no way to track it, then it doesn't belong to you, right? It's up to them if they want to give it to you or not. I'm just trying to think here. So let's say the copyright owner does click sharing and then they just don't give you anything. Does anything happen? I'm assuming that's what she's complaining about, but I mean, what's the difference between them doing that and then them also, between them doing that or them not allowing you to have any monetization at all?
Makes you think. So while I do think that the percentage of revenue sharing is not very fair for the creators and these big record labels take advantage of us. I can't, it's hard to take this seriously. Thought sharing is it belongs to you. Makes you think. So while I do think that the percentage of revenue sharing is not very fair for the creators and these big record labels take advantage of us,
Okay, so the percentage of revenue sharing. So that's the thing I don't understand about these YouTubers now, because their videos sort of rely on these copyrighted pieces of music, right? And they're using it without permission. So what do they think is going to happen? And then they're complaining about not getting a decent piece of the puzzle. I mean, obviously she has so many followers, but
that's not what I'm here to talk about.
That's not what she's here to talk about.
Like I said, I'm not here to complain. But I do think it is worth mentioning that I've had several videos where the label takes 100% of the revenue because I use 10 seconds of a song in a 14-minute video. Which if you do the math, that means that the song makes up 1% of the video and the other 99% of the video is my original commentary. And still, they get to take all of the revenue that video generated. The math isn't mathing.
I don't see a problem with that. I mean, that's what you have to deal with when you're on YouTube, right? And so, yeah, I mean, 10, if you're using 10 seconds of a song in a 14-minute video and you're complaining about about not getting monetization, then just remove the song, right? That seems like the logical thing to do. But she posted a video, actually, like a screenshot of one of her videos. I didn't watch that video. I've literally seen 3 of her videos. So I don't know what sort of video she's talking about, but I'm assuming purely based on the fact that that removing the song isn't an option. It's because her videos rely on that copyrighted music. And then so she's using the popularity of the copyrighted music in order to improve her own popularity.
Now, there is the argument that I could just choose to not use any copyrighted songs anymore in any capacity. I could
Exactly. Do that.
become a baking channel. Any copyrighted songs anymore in any capacity. I could
Oh, hey, look, I just noticed there's a guitar in the background. An acoustic guitar with like a cutout. I have an acoustic guitar. I also have a classical guitar, neither of which have a cutout.
become a baking
That's interesting.
channel. Any copyrighted songs anymore in any capacity. I could become a baking channel instead. Welcome back. Today we're going to be making beans. So you make it by going to the store and getting some beans.
She is funny.
Meant that I could just choose to
But this just goes to show how integral these copyrighted songs are to her YouTube channel, because when she's faced with the option of not using them, she makes a joke about how she would have to change her entire channel, right? But she's using the songs to begin with, and she's using them without permission. So if this wasn't YouTube, if this was a TV show or something, you would have to license the songs, right? You would have to get permission from the copyright holders, and you would have to probably pay some money as well, right? But when you do that with YouTube, you don't do that. You don't have to pay anything. You just sort of have to pray or like cross your fingers that the copyright owners will revenue share with you.
not use any copyrighted songs anymore in any capacity. I could become a baking channel instead. Welcome back. Today we're going to be making beans. So you make it by going to the store and getting some beans.
I would definitely watch that. The baking channel with Elise.
Okay, maybe not that. But I'm sure we can trust big record label to stand up for ethical, fair percentage of revenue share.
Okay, I thought this was funny too, because she's making the big record label corporations to be the bad guy, the Goliath. And then she's portraying herself and other YouTube content creators, herself having almost 5 million subscribers, as the underdog or the David, right? And that doesn't make sense to me. And now I'm not trying to I'm not trying to defend these big corporations, these big record label corporations, because I think record labels are completely unnecessary, and it's the fault of the musicians. The musicians are the dumbasses who are selling their music. They're basically selling their souls to try and become popular. They're selling away their creative their creations for popularity and maybe money and fame and whatnot. And so, I mean, it's the fault of the musicians. Now it's not that every record label is bad, but in my opinion, they're unnecessary, and that's all there is to it. I mean, just so it's hard to feel sympathy for everyone who sort of gets involved with the industry.
If creators just ask them nicely, end up for ethical, fair percentage of revenue share.
Fair percentage of revenue sharing. Why don't you just get permission from the record label to use the song and pay them for it?
If creators just ask them nicely for a better percentage, there's no way that they would
ask them nicely for a better percentage. Why would they want to do that? I don't understand this. I mean,
throw a tantrum and cry like a baby and then remove all of their music completely from the platform. They've never done that before.
So Universal Group removes all music from TikTok. AI audio usage skyrockets. I mean, that's completely fair. I mean, if the copyright owners want to remove all their music from TikTok, then who cares? More UMG music is getting removed from TikTok. Songs from Universal Music Publishing Group writers, including Harry Styles, I don't know what that is, and Steve Lacy. I haven't heard of any of those people. I've heard of Harry Styles. I don't know if I've heard one of his songs, but I mean, obviously these people are horrible musicians in the sense that I would not like them.
Oh wait, they have done that. Yeah, so I'm not here to complain, but I will tell you what I am here to do.
She keeps saying she's not here to complain, but I feel like the whole video is her complaining.
I want to see if I can break the Content ID system. I view this as a challenge and I want to see if I can pull a sneaky one on them. I'm gonna sing a song so horribly and see if they can recognize it, because I think it's
This chick is so hot. Oh my God.
basically a computer that picks up on the melody of this song and then automatically claims it. 40% of my catalog has...
Oh, this part is where you get a little shot of the lower half of her. I've watched this video a couple times. I think you get to see some of her leg.
already been claimed.
Oh, there you go. I think we have a leg reveal. I don't know what kind of pants she's wearing. Maybe they're jeans. She's got a gross tattoo. But yeah, we're wearing the same shirt. That's pretty cool.
Okay, I'm not trying to get another one. Guys, see if you can guess the song. Are you smarter than AI? All right, here I go. So big.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the end of the video, by the way. So it was a funny video, but when I watched it yesterday, there were some points of it that it just didn't make sense to me. And it sounded like she was complaining. She was just whining. And she seemed kind of entitled, to be honest. And so I wanted to make a reaction video to that, to her video. I didn't really want to. It's just I had that idea today. Why don't I make a reaction video to her video? That would seem like a good idea. But yeah, I'm obsessed with this chick now. I think she is so hot. Now, I scrolled through a bit of her videos earlier, right before doing this, and I did find one where she's in a bikini top. And it's right here. She's like playing kazoo underwater or some shit. Now, apparently she's pregnant and she's married, so I don't think I have much of a chance. Also, she lives in the US and I live in Canada. And also, I'm me and girls don't like me. So I don't think I have much of a chance. But I think I'm going to watch some more of her videos. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. So let's just see what happens here.
It works as a straw. Kazoo equals straw confirmed.